Hello, my name is Shaun. Welcome to the channel. And today I thought it would be interesting or at least fun to compare the brand new 670 horsepower V8 Corvette Z06 to the first generation, first year Corvette, because we all know how it's going, but we don't know where it started. A lot of us weren't even alive, or our parents weren't even alive when the first generation Corvette hit the road. So I thought it would be interesting to see how it would be like trying to spec one of these cars in 1953. So here we go. Imagine ourselves going back in time and going out and buying one of these first generation Corvettes. In 1953, GM had unveiled Project Opal, which was named after the Opel brand that GM owned at the time. And this was the first prototype Corvette. Now, this car was displayed, and the hype for this car was so great that GM decided they were going to build at least a few Corvettes near the end of 1953 to put on sale. Only 300 Corvettes were built in 1953, which makes this the lowest volume Corvette ever produced. And this is mostly due to the fact that they didn't have a dedicated factory to build Corvettes, so they were essentially hand built, with each iteration being different than the others. The first generation Corvette had a fiberglass body, drum brakes, a 2-speed manual, and GM's Blue Flame Inline 6 that made 150 horsepower. And it was a roadster that only came in one color, and that was polo white with a red interior and a black cloth top. The 53 to early 54 Corvettes were so bad they almost killed off Corvette completely with its terrible build quality and its anemic performance. I'm talking about, they said this car leaked when it rained, that the doors would just pop open randomly while driving, and the car didn't come with a manual. It was all automatic, and it was a terrible automatic at that. And the only thing that saved the Corvette was Ford's introduction to the Thunderbird, which wasn't a sports car but had similar styling, and Zora Avekdavik's joining GM later on. And I know I got carried away when describing how this car almost killed the Corvette, because I always wonder why people never talk about the first generation, because to me it's one of the best looking cars on the planet, especially for a classic car. But people disregard it as if it's a piece of crap, and basically it was. And that's kind of upsetting to me. I really wish that it could have been great from the jump, but we always can't have that type of thing when it comes to developing and producing cars. And if you listen to the people that know more than me, they'll say all the classic cars were a bit shit. But I digress. Let's talk about the size differences between these cars, because they're not all that different. Of course, the new car is a lot bigger. V8 is a foot and a half longer. Only 5 inches difference in the wheelbase. It's about 8 to 10 inches wider, and it's weigh about 600 pounds more than the first generation, first year C1 Corvette. The weight differences really surprised me, even though I can only find the dry weight for the C8, so you can take that with a grain of salt. And I'll tell you the biggest differences between this car are, of course, the engine layout, as the C1 was a front engine roadster, while this new Corvette is a mid-engine, basically supercar, which they didn't really have any of those back in the 1950s. Lastly, let's talk about price. The C1 Corvette costs about $3,513. That's around $34,000 in today's money, while we all know that the Z06 is likely to cost well over $100,000. That is crazy that this car probably costs $100,000 more than the original C1 Corvette in 1953. And I think this price comparison is where this video should end. And I know I went on a bit of a tangent about how terrible the C1 Corvette is. It's actually still one of my favorite Corvettes. I would really love to own one. Drive one, that's probably a whole different video. And let me know if you guys enjoy videos like this. This one will probably go on the back burner, though this isn't the first video I made like that. That video is probably coming later on down the line, and you'll probably notice a bit of a difference with how I deliver that video versus this one. It's all work in progress, but I'll probably wait till I can actually get my hands on the car to make more videos like this. This is more of a showcase of some of the ideas I have for the channel, and I really hope you guys enjoy it. And with that said, I'd like to bring this video to a close, so I'll catch you guys in the next one.